Hello, my name is Kathleen Farrell. I've worked at Monroe Community College for 29 years. I've been recognized for numerous awards, including the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Scholarship and Creativity, and the John and Sue Ann Roche Awards for Teaching. I work in Monroe Community College in the Visual and Performing Arts Department, where I am a full professor in the art area, primarily teaching commercial illustration program. I'm in charge of that program, and I, teach commercial illustration 1 and 2, but I also teach across the discipline, which means anything and everything. I work in the graphic design area, teaching vector graphics and raster graphics. In other words, Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. I've taught sketchbook class, gallery management, and an art travel course where I take students to various places in Europe and North American cities. I've also taught drawing and design and art essentials. When teaching the art travel class, what I like to do with them is to teach them a little bit about culture, traveling, looking at different customs, eating different types of foods. And myself, I love to travel to many places, and I like to instill that a little bit in among my students. Also within the department, I am responsible for an art gallery called the Mercer Gallery, and I've been doing that for 29 years, where I'll bring in artists that will show their work, also talk about the work, and I'll have artists in residence, maybe just on a daily basis. But I've had people come from as far away as Australia and actually stay for 2 weeks on end and work within the students, within teaching, and then even traveling with us. Reasons I'm interested in COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning, is because I myself like to travel and learn about the world, and I like to instill that in my students to kind of think globally and to work globally. And the advantage of that, I think, is that they'll be learning different languages, different customs, different cultures, and mostly to try to get them outside of their little worlds and into a bigger one. Learning from their peers from different parts of the world. When I was doing the art travel, I take also students to New York City, and sometimes that to them is a foreign country because they're kind of stuck in this little town, and most of them live in the suburbs, and most of them, to kind of drive to wherever they go. They don't know anything about taking a bus or, communicating about how to do that. So that's some of the things I like to kind of do with them. Some of the classes, when I'm working with the commercial illustration students, I try to get them to get a real-world experience where they're working with a client. And the client will then kind of give them, a different type of insight and give them different deadlines. And, I kind of work as the art director. And so what I'm thinking about with this COIL course or, courses is that we would work with my illustrators, and perhaps, one of the things I've done is we've designed a children's book. And the students, I've worked with 3rd and 4th graders, the 3rd and 4th graders would write the book, and my students would end up illustrating in it. And it's kind of fun to watch my students get marching orders from, 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds about, whether or not the drawings are complete enough. So that also puts them a little bit on edge. So what I'm thinking might work is that we would, maybe illustrate a story or alphabet book or, something dealing with the discipline that's being taught. And I'm not really concerned whether or not it be the arts. I'm interested in it, perhaps even working in science or social science, and those two are also some of my favorite subjects, and I try to instill that in my students, that it's just not art and that we're working in this world. We're working in the full world. And so my belief is that art needs to be in everyone's lives. It also needs to be in almost every subject that you teach. So I feel that every story needs an image, as does every image needs a story. So this is kind of what I'm thinking about for this project or this course that we may be teaching in the future here. I'm fortunate that at MCC that we have a very active international and global education program, as well as invested in the COIL. And the people that are surrounded around that are very helpful, and they're just wonderful to work with, and we make it work so smoothly. What I plan to do is also to attend the COIL conference this year in New York City in April, and I'm hoping to meet some of you out there, and also, if not, on the COIL site, and be able to maybe talk about this a little bit further, and have a discussion about how, in my words, how the arts need to be in everyone's life and in everybody's world. So with that said, I'm happy to be involved in this, and thank you for listening to what I had to say about this, and it's been wonderful to again get involved in this, and I hope to meet you soon, either on the web or at the conference.